They thought humiliating her publicly would destroy her, but the moment her cheek stung, a fire was born inside her, one that would flip the entire school's hierarchy upside down. If you love shocking turnarounds, ruthless justice, and comeback stories that make your jaw drop, then hit subscribe now, because this one will leave you breathless. When the slap cracked across Alina's face in front of 200 stunned students gathered in the school courtyard for the annual assembly, the world seemed to freeze for a heartbeat, the sound echoing off the brick walls like a gunshot, and for a moment even the bullies who delivered it, Tanya, the queen bee with venom in her tongue, and Zara, her shadow who laughed at pain like it was entertainment, stood still, shocked that they had actually done it, that they had crossed a line even they knew was forbidden. But Alina didn't cry, didn't flinch, didn't take a step back. Instead, she lifted her head slowly, her cheek blazing red, her eyes calm and terrifyingly steady, and a strange hush swept over the crowd because something about her silence was louder than any scream she could have made. The teachers on stage froze, unsure whether to intervene because Tania's father was the chairman of the board, and no one wanted to anger the man who funded half the school's renovations. Even the principal pretended to adjust his microphone while watching nervously from the corner of his eye. Everyone expected Alina to crumble. She was the quiet scholarship girl, the one who worked late in the library, the one people whispered about because she wore second-hand uniforms and always carried that old, worn-out notebook. But instead of falling apart, she calmly wiped her cheek and said only one sentence: "Thank you for showing everyone who you truly are." And with that, she walked away without another word, leaving the courtyard so silent that even the birds perched on the flagpole seemed to hold their breath. What nobody knew was that this moment, this slap, would expose secrets buried for years, dismantle reputations, make heroes out of nobodies, topple a corrupt school administration, and turn Alina into the most influential person the campus had ever seen. Because Alina wasn't just any scholarship girl, she was the daughter of a woman who had once been betrayed by the same chairman who now ruled the school with an iron fist of money and threats. And Alina had quietly collected evidence for months, documenting everything from bribery to forged documents to illegal expulsions disguised as discipline measures. But even that wasn't the biggest twist. The slap became the spark that ignited her entire plan, because the moment Tania's palm met her face, dozens of students recorded it, every angle, every second, and the videos spread like wildfire, hitting millions of views overnight after someone anonymously leaked it to a national bullying awareness platform. Suddenly news channels wanted statements, activists demanded investigations, and the chairman panicked, calling emergency meetings to control the narrative, unaware that the person feeding the media every piece of truth was the girl he thought was powerless. While the nation watched, the school tried to blame Alina, claiming she provoked the bullies, but the students revolted, the quiet kids, the overlooked ones, the ones who had also been victims. They rallied behind her, creating the largest student movement the school had ever seen, refusing to attend classes until justice was served. Tanya, meanwhile, tried to play innocent, crying on camera, blaming stress, but her lies crumbled when Alina, with calm precision, released a recording, not of the slap, but of Tanya mocking a special needs student weeks before, something the administration had covered up. Now, the world turned against the bully who had once ruled the hallways like a tyrant. Zara betrayed Tanya first, posting a confession online that Tanya had forced her into every act of cruelty, and in her panic, she revealed something even more devastating. The chairman had instructed them to deal with Alina because he feared she knew about his stolen scholarship funds. That revelation pushed the story from school drama to a national scandal. Investigators stormed the school, seizing documents, computers, and sealed financial files, and as the world watched, Alina remained silent, the calm eye in the center of the chaos, until the day she walked into the final hearing with a folder in her hand, her head held high. Every camera pointed at her as she approached the chairman, Tania's father, and placed the folder on the table. "This," she said, "is everything you erased about my mother." The documents revealed how the chairman had destroyed her mother's career years ago after she refused to cooperate in his embezzlement scheme. He framed her, fired her, and manipulated the system to ensure she never worked in education again. The moment the truth broke, the chairman's empire collapsed. Lawsuits, arrests, frozen bank accounts, and worst of all for him, the board voted unanimously to remove him. Tania's world shattered, her popularity evaporating overnight, her friends fleeing like rats abandoning a sinking ship. But the biggest twist no one saw coming was when the government granted Alina's mother the highest honor for exposing corruption, through her daughter's courage, and offered Alina a full scholarship to any university she chose. The same courtyard where she had been slapped now held a ceremony celebrating her bravery, and when she walked onto the stage, the same 200 students who once watched in silence now erupted in applause so loud it shook the air. But Alina didn't bask in revenge. Instead, she used her new influence to create a student protection program, ensuring no one would ever suffer the way she did. As for Tanya, she approached Alina months later, broken, humbled, no cameras, no entourage, just a trembling apology. And in a twist even bigger than the scandal, Alina forgave her, not because Tanya deserved it, but because Alina refused to let hate dictate her future. In the end, the slap meant to break her became the moment that reinvented everything, not just for her, but for the entire school, proving once and for all that sometimes the quietest person in the room carries the loudest truth, and when she finally speaks, or acts, the world has no choice but to listen.